Good morning. This is Steve here again, Steve Kaufman. My blog is thelinguist.blogs.com. Of course, I'm involved with the language learning system called LINQ, LINGQ.com. It's the morning here. I haven't shaved yet. I'm going to play hockey later on with a group of old timers, so I'm going to shave after my shower. But this morning had a very interesting email from one of our Brazilian members at LINQ. And of course, in my previous webcast, I expressed my allergy to grammar, as this particular person put it. And I definitely do believe that grammar teaching is largely counterproductive. And it has to do with the fact that we learn from our experience and not through some logical explanations that are imposed on us. But this person is a teacher herself, and she says, well, is there no role for teachers? Are you getting rid of teachers? So what is the role of the teacher in different situations? First of all, insofar as language is concerned, I'm quite convinced that in most situations, if we simply let language learners listen to things of interest, read the same content, and then save words and phrases, work on vocabulary, but experience the language in following their own interests, they will learn at any age much better than in any formal class of instruction. Now, the role of teachers. If I think back to my years at school, at university, I can only remember a few teachers. And the only teachers that I remember are the ones that inspired me. I remember nothing that was taught to me, but I remember teachers that inspired me. In high school, there was a teacher, for example, who got a group of us to do a recording of Homer, the Odyssey, and we recorded different parts, and he was so enthusiastic about Greek mythology that he got us enthusiastic. Quite a lot of us. I'm not just talking about 2 or 3. A lot of us in the class got quite enthusiastic about Greek mythology. On the other hand, we had a French teacher who was a reverend. He wore black robes. We used to call him Zorro. Whenever he walked in the class, we would sing the theme from Zorro that was a popular TV program. But he was so cynical, we couldn't help picking on him all the time. So he did not inspire enthusiasm. We had a very enthusiastic Latin teacher who would walk in the room, and in those days we had to stand up when the teacher walked in the class. And he would drop his books onto his desk, and we had to sit down before the books hit the desk. Simple thing, it kind of woke us up. And he was a nice guy, and he was enthusiastic and energetic. My interest in languages began when I went to university, and we had a teacher that first year, Monsieur Rabotin. I still remember him. He's the one who got me onto language learning because he made French civilization so interesting. It's not what he taught us. We got it out of the books. We got it out of... I started reading the local French newspaper. I lived in Montreal. I didn't speak French, even though I had had French at school. I wasn't interested because we had a series of... We had one teacher in high school who came in, and he was actually from England. And he said, all right, you guys, now we're going to talk frog language. Well, I can tell you that did not inspire us. And so after all these boring French teachers, here was a person who made French interesting. And as a result, I went off on my own and started learning French. And from there, I learned Chinese, and I learned a bunch of other languages. But he inspired me. So my quick answer is a teacher has to be able to inspire the student. Number one role. How? Well, the teacher has to be enthusiastic and passionate about something, him or herself. And the teacher has to treat the student as an individual, not as some kind of an unfortunate social welfare case. Unfortunately, there is far too much sort of social studies involved in teaching. Power relationships, gender relationships, unfortunate student because suffering from whatever class, racial, ethnic, gender discrimination. Forget all that stuff. Just assume that the student has tremendous potential and is an individual and needs to be encouraged, stimulated, praised, not criticized necessarily, but also we need to tell students this is reality in life. If you want a job, you have to do this. How you achieve it is up to you. Here are some resources. I'm here to help you, but you have to do it on your own. I cannot teach you. You can learn. And here are the things that I find fascinating. You may find them fascinating, you may not. And maybe my personality will inspire certain students, and maybe somebody else's personality will inspire other students. But I think the role of the teacher is to inspire, to guide, to provide feedback, to encourage, to support, etc. Not necessarily to teach. And that is especially the case today when there are so many resources available in various media formats, through the internet, at the library, and so forth. And I think teachers should help their students access this wider source of information, not hold themselves up as sources of some great truth. And that's especially the case in grammar. I mean, people learn through experience. Grammar is not some great, magnificent, mathematical, logical structure. It's full of inconsistencies. It varies from language to language. There's nothing wonderfully mathematical about it at all. It's just usage that's evolved and will continue to evolve. And yes, the students have to identify the pattern of usage that they want to imitate, and they have to imitate it in learning a foreign language, but it needn't be delivered through the form of some great scientific knowledge that the teacher has that is going to be slowly, drip by drip and drop by drop, delivered to the student. Okay, thank you there again. So that's my bit on the role of the teacher. I hope that satisfies my letter writer from Brazil. Thank you. Bye-bye.